A word of warning. In this video I will be referring to Ludum Dare as, well, Ludum Dare, and not the correct pronunciation, which I believe is Ludum Dare. That's because I learned how to say it as Ludum Dare, and I'm not going to change my ways just because they're wrong. So for this Ludum Dare, I created a game called Assault Squad Zombie Tactics. It's a very silly name for a game, and it's a very silly game. The reason for this is because I did not really like the theme that much. I'd go as far as to say it's a pretty crappy theme. The theme, I should say, is Alone, which is a cool sounding theme for story concepts. I can imagine there's lots of stories that I will come to find out in the coming weeks based on Alone. They even added a new category called Mood, just to facilitate rating moody games. However, all of my previous Ludum Dare entries would fit the theme Alone. I will list them here for you. Planet Discover for Ludum Dare number 19, Discovery, is a game in which you are alone on an alien planet trying to discover how you got there, who you are, and what has happened. A Colorful Man for Ludum Dare number 20, in which the theme was It's Dangerous to Go Alone, Take This, which was also a pretty crappy theme. You play as the single last soldier in the armies of the Colorful Man, fighting against the legions of the Grey Queen. In Upset for Ludum Dare number 21, where the theme was Escape, you are alone in a strange city trying to convince people to help you escape. So, it's far too vague, and I think we're going to see that reflected in the wide variety of quote-unquote themes for this LD. I also wanted to make a game involving artificial life. I just really love the concept, and it doesn't really work well when all the actors are alone. But, the fun of Ludum Dare is working with a theme you didn't expect. I very much didn't expect number 20's theme, which was It's Dangerous to Go Alone, Take This, but I ended up having a lot of fun with that one. So, at first, I played with the survival horror concept, kind of like a top-down Left 4 Dead, I suppose. I wanted to mess with pacing and an algorithm to determine how the player is probably feeling right now, similar to the way they did it with an AI director in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. But it turns out I am very bad at field of view calculations. I tried and tried for a couple hours, and it was too far key a concept to give up on, so I decided I'd sleep on it and come up with something new. When I woke up, I was thinking about Frozen Synapse and how it's just a very simple concept applied to a lot of interesting levels and a good story, and that makes it great. So I thought, well, I can't just make Frozen Synapse again, that would suck. Especially because there are far more talented coders involved with that than I am. I thought, how could I make it different but still interesting? And I realized that zombies make everything better. And that a single human, alone, could take a great deal of zombies, unless the zombies acted in a way that was smart. So, from that I came up with the idea of a tactical puzzle game in which you destroy humans who are alone. What went well with this is that I had a very, very good level editor, which I made myself in the first hour or so of the competition. It was very abstract so that I could easily adapt it to whatever gameplay ideas I came up with. It just had a background image selector and an object selector. And in order to select those, you just typed in the file name of the appropriate image. Extremely simple, but very effective. The simple idea that I had for the game meant that it was very easy to make an engine, and that meant that I was working on content for pretty much the entire Ludum Dare. I only spent like 4 or so hours working on the engine. I had a lot of testers who had excellent ideas and feedback, which helped me a lot in coming up with unique gameplay ideas. Kittens went well. I do enjoy kittens. My handmade sound effects were actually a lot better than I expected. In previous Ludum Dares, I'd worked with SFXer, just throwing something together that was hopefully different than the other sound effects and hoping it was good. But for this, I thought I'd use the extra time I had on content to really make something that shines. And I needed 3 different sound effects: gunshots, explosions, and the sounds of humans dying. All of those were fairly difficult to record unless you live in a war zone, so I used SFXer to create the explosion. SFXer's pretty good at that. But after toying with it for a while, I could not get it to make a gunshot. So instead, I went on YouTube and listened to recordings of gunshots until I could get an idea of what they were, and I realized that they basically consist of a sharp snapping sound and a echo. So I grabbed a plastic bag, tightened it up, and popped it, and I did that a couple times until I got a good sharp, clear sound. And then I applied a pitch reduction and an echo to that effect, which came up with a gunshot that I will insert here. For the sounds of humans dying, I actually just punched myself in the gut and recorded it. I did that for a while. I think I bruised, actually, but the pains I make for good games. For music, I used Grease Monkey's beautiful Auto Tracker-BU. It's really just wonderful. I can't stress it enough. Go shake his hand or something. Oh, and HTML5 was another thing that went well. The choice to use HTML5 in JavaScript. I noticed that with my previous Ludum Dare entry upset, having the web-based, cross-platform, easily accessible game really helped a lot in getting people to test it and to play it in general. If you don't have to download software, if you don't have to install anything, if you don't have to go through that extra effort, there's a much lower barrier to entry, and people will respond by playing your games and giving you good feedback. Things that did not go well. Well, I had a lot of great ideas for a game before the Ludum Dare compo started, and thus I had to throw them all out because I got a loan. So I was not off to a good start, unlike in previous Ludum Dares when I've got a good idea just about when it starts. And the final result turned out to be rather tedious and trial and error based rather than a cerebral puzzle game. I think this is mostly due to the concept I had. Zombies are not the best choice for intellectual activities. I hope that at some point I'll learn how to make a good puzzle game, because I have not got it yet. Well, I look forward to playing everyone else's games, and I have a lot of free time for this Ludum Dare, so hopefully I'll get to 100% coolness again. I've done it before. Thanks for watching.